On December 19th, a headline dropped that felt almost unreal even by modern standards. Not because it was flashy, not because it was loud, but because of the sheer improbability of the pairing. Trump Media, the company most people associate with politics, media disruption, and controversy, announced a massive merger with TAE Technologies, one of the most advanced and well-funded private fusion energy companies in the world. Estimated valuation, $6 billion. Sector crossover, media meets fusion power. And suddenly, two worlds that had never touched were forced into the same sentence. This wasn't just a business deal. It was a statement, a signal. And depending on how you look at it, either a moonshot for the ages or one of the boldest gambles in modern corporate history, fusion energy has long been the holy grail of power generation. Clean, virtually limitless, and capable of producing massive energy with minimal waste. But it has also been the industry of almost, always 10 years away, always one breakthrough short. TAE Technologies, however, has been the outlier. Backed by decades of research, elite scientists, and deep-pocketed investors, TAE isn't chasing science fiction. It's chasing commercialization. Their approach to fusion is different, quieter, and increasingly credible. And now, unexpectedly, their future is tied to Trump Media. To understand why this matters, you have to understand what Trump Media is trying to become. This company has never positioned itself as just a media platform. From the beginning, it framed itself as an alternative ecosystem, technology, infrastructure, and influence rolled into one. The merger with TAE takes that ambition out of the digital realm and into physical reality. Energy isn't just another industry. It's the foundation of all industries. Control energy, and you control the pace of everything built on top of it. This is where the $6 billion figure stops being shocking and starts being strategic. Fusion isn't about next quarter's earnings. It's about next generation dominance. Whoever cracks fusion first doesn't just win a market. They redefine the energy hierarchy. Trump Media's move signals something clear. This isn't about content anymore. It's about power in the most literal sense of the word. Now pause for a second, because this is where many people get lost. Why would a media company merge with a fusion energy firm? The answer lies in capital markets, narrative control, and timing. Fusion companies burn cash, a lot of it. Traditional funding routes are slow, cautious, and often tied to government timelines. Trump Media brings something different to the table: public market access, aggressive capital strategy, and an audience primed for disruptive narratives. In return, TAE brings legitimacy, science, and a technology that could outlast every social media platform currently in existence. This merger isn't about synergy in the traditional MBA sense. It's about leverage. Trump Media gains a future-facing asset that reframes the company overnight. TAE gains financial firepower and public visibility at a scale fusion startups rarely achieve. Each side is betting that the other unlocks doors that were previously closed. Here's where it gets interesting. Fusion energy isn't just clean, it's politically powerful. It sidesteps many of the culture wars surrounding fossil fuels, climate policy, and energy dependence. Fusion promises abundance without compromise, no carbon emissions, no long-lived radioactive waste, no foreign fuel dependence. In an era defined by polarization, fusion is one of the few technologies that can appeal across ideological lines. That alone makes it an unusually strategic asset for a company like Trump Media. If you're still listening, this is the moment to lean in, because this deal isn't just about electricity, it's about narrative dominance. Imagine controlling a platform that doesn't just broadcast opinions, but underwrites the infrastructure of the future. Media shapes perception, energy shapes reality. Combining the two is either visionary or dangerously ambitious. TAE Technologies isn't a speculative lab in a garage. It's been quietly advancing fusion systems for years, refining plasma stability, improving efficiency, and pushing closer to net energy gain. Their work isn't about flashy demos. It's about solving the hard physics problems that stopped others cold. By merging into a publicly visible entity with massive reach, TAE's progress becomes harder to ignore and easier to fund. Now let's talk risk, because ignoring it would be dishonest. Fusion has crushed optimism before. Governments have poured billions into it with little to show publicly. Critics will say this merger is branding masquerading as innovation. They'll argue that Trump media is buying into a dream rather than a deliverable. And those critiques won't be baseless. Fusion timelines are brutal, engineering challenges are unforgiving, and public markets don't always have the patience science demands. But here's the counterpoint. Every transformative technology looked irresponsible until it worked. Spaceflight, semiconductors, the internet. What separates failures from breakthroughs isn't caution, it's sustained commitment. This merger suggests Trump media is willing to tie its long-term identity to something far bigger than news cycles and platform politics. That alone marks a shift. Let us be direct for a moment. Ask yourself this: if fusion succeeds in the next decade, who do you want holding equity in that future? Governments, legacy utilities, or companies willing to take reputational and financial risks early? The Trump media is betting that history rewards the bold, not the comfortable. There's also a geopolitical dimension that's impossible to ignore. Energy independence is national power. Fusion promises a future where energy scarcity is no longer a strategic vulnerability. If a US-based private entity helps commercialize fusion first, the implications ripple through defense, manufacturing, AI, and global diplomacy. This merger quietly places Trump media at the edge of that possibility. And yes, the optics matter. Trump's name guarantees attention, controversy, and polarization. Some will dismiss the deal purely on that basis. Others will amplify it endlessly. But fusion doesn't care about politics. Plasma doesn't respond to ideology. Either the reactor works or it doesn't. That's the beauty and the danger of tying a brand to hard science. You can't spin neutrons. Another critical layer here is timing. AI, electrification, and reshoring are driving energy demand through the roof. Grids are strained, power prices are volatile. Every major economy is hunting for the next energy breakthrough. By entering fusion now, Trump media positions itself ahead of that curve. Not after consensus forms, but before it does. Let's pause again, because this is where viewers often miss the long game. This merger isn't about replacing oil tomorrow. It's about optionality, about owning a stake in a future where fusion works. If it fails, Trump media remains a media company with a bold experiment behind it. If it succeeds, the company transforms into something else entirely, a stakeholder in the energy backbone of the 21st century. The $6 billion valuation reflects that asymmetry. High risk, massive upside, limited comparables. That's not traditional media math. That's venture logic applied at industrial scale. As the dust settles from the December 19th announcement, expect skepticism, analysis, and heated debate. Analysts will argue over valuations, scientists will argue over timelines, commentators will argue over motives. But beneath the noise, one fact remains. Fusion just gained one of the loudest megaphones in America. And that might be the most underrated part of this deal. Fusion has always struggled with public imagination. Too complex, too abstract, too slow. Trump media understands attention better than almost anyone. If fusion is going to cross from laboratory curiosity to public inevitability, it will need storytelling as much as science. This merger supplies both. Let's bring this home with one final engagement moment. History doesn't move in straight lines. It lurches forward when unlikely forces collide. A media empire merging with a fusion powerhouse feels strange today, but strange is often where the future hides first. Trump Media's $6 billion fusion gamble isn't a guaranteed win. It's something rarer and more dangerous. It's a bet on a world that doesn't exist yet, but might soon be unavoidable. Whether this deal becomes a footnote or a foundation will depend on physics, patience, and execution. December 19th may one day be remembered not as a media story, but as the moment fusion energy stepped into the spotlight, backed by a company willing to tie its fate to the most ambitious power source humanity has ever pursued.